Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Okay, it seems good. All right. I think people should be able to see this. I've got a little chat in OBS, so I should get messages through there. Okay. Just make sure this video's coming through. Yeah, looks good. All right. Thank you, everyone. I would like to begin by delivering the following prepared statement. On Saturday, the 11th of February, the Crown summoned Ruling Council to sit in closed session to consider the future of Adammia's membership of the Grand Unified Micronational. This came after both the chair and vice chair of the GUM resigned, having been accused of acting at the behest of former member Austranasia, and the Australasian Times published an article which accused the GUM of having, and I quote, a culture of bullying. This ministry had become concerned that continued GUM membership might present a reputational risk to Adammia. In order to properly inform the members of Ruling Council, who are not foreign affairs experts, this ministry began preparing a report which would summarise and analyse recent events and set out the advantages and disadvantages of continued GUM membership. This report, which was a significant undertaking, was delivered to the Ruling Council in its uncensored form late on Thursday the 27th. Following deliberations, Ruling Council agreed on a motion yesterday afternoon and concluded voting on it at 5 p.m. this evening. The Ruling Council's decision is as follows. Adammia will remain a full member of the Grand Unified Micronational, subject to a review in 6 months' time. This ministry will work within the GUM to improve the standards of decorum and stamp out undiplomatic behaviour. Adammia will seek to act as a mediator between the GUM leadership and Austranasia in the event of any further conflict. Now that the Ruling Council has concluded its deliberations, we are able to publish a redacted version of our report on the crisis. Bear with me 1 second. I will share a link to the report momentarily in the YouTube chat. Okay, there we go. I'll carry on from where I was. It is the position of this ministry that whilst increasingly prevalent unprofessional and undiplomatic behaviour has degraded the reputation of the GUM, any suggestion of a so-called culture of bullying is hyperbolic. Nevertheless, it is our objective to work with the new chair, Jonathan Freeman of North Woodhampton, to improve standards in the GUM. We were pleased to see draft proposals at last night's quorum session to finally introduce a codified definition of decorum, and I thank the new Vice Chair, James Frisch, for his work on this. I would also like to express our regret that recent events have damaged our relationship with the Empire of Austranasia, which has been a close diplomatic partner over many years. The apparent position of the Austronesian government as being overtly anti-GUM is still quite a shock to many of us. However, my priority now is to ensure that any further conflict between Austranasia and the GUM is kept to a minimum. This kind of conflict is detrimental to all parties. The Ruling Council has expressed its position that Adammia should act as a mediator if necessary. This ministry will therefore seek to establish a framework for communication in the event of any further disputes, utilising our close ties with both the GUM's Vertigo bloc and key figures within Austranasia. We are particularly concerned that edits to MicroWiki about the recent crisis may in turn cause another round of arguments. It is therefore imperative that a neutral MicroWiki administrator is part of this framework. The drama of the past few weeks has been probably the biggest in the MicroWiki community since Black February 3 years ago, and within the GUM it has been probably the biggest scandal since the 2013 leadership scandal. However, the GUM has a reputation for self-renewal, and I am confident that with Adammia playing a central role, the GUM will put these accusations behind it and once again rebuild itself. Recent events may have seemed quite chaotic to an average observer in the MicroWiki community, but to them I have a simple message, and it is one I borrow from the great Alexander Reinhardt. Keep calm and carry on. I will now take questions. Please state your name, the press outlet you represent, and your question in the live chat. And I will allow a few minutes for any questions. I appreciate some people may be reading the report. You will not have time to read the whole of the report in this session because it takes about half an hour to read the whole thing. So um, I'm unlikely to be able to answer questions arising from the report exactly. Um, but more general questions about recent events and our current policy, I can definitely answer at this time. We have Jonathan Freeman with the North Odancton Broadcast Network. People of North Odancton would like to know, with Adammia having reviewed its GUM membership in the wake of the GUM Australasia crisis, what is the status of Adammia's relationship with Australasia at this point in time, and was the ruling council subject to discussions regarding its relationship with Australasia as a result of the crisis? So on paper, the relationship between Adammia and Australasia remains the same. Officially and legally, it remains the same. The treaty between us is still in effect. We did note recently the resignation of William Wilson, who was previously Austronesia's foreign minister. We did not, unfortunately, have any interaction with him during this crisis due to his inactivity. The only interactions we have had have been with the Prime Minister, Andrew Creed, directly, with the former Emperor, Jonathan Austin Buchanan, and some limited interaction with the Crown Prince of Australasia, Sharo Mephistopheles. It is definitely true that relationship has become strained, which I find very regretful. With regards to the ruling council, at this point in time, was the ruling council subject to discussions regarding its relationship with Australasia as a result of crisis? The ruling the ruling council has been appraised of the situation. It is aware of the status of our relations with Australasia. They have had a chance to consider that alongside all the other aspects of this crisis. The report was delivered, like I said, on Thursday, and the council was then sat in closed session until yesterday at 4 o'clock. So it had plenty of time to consider all of these matters, including specifically Adammia's relationship with Australasia. From the Red Star Daily Pelagia, was the treaty between Adammia and Australasia in jeopardy while the crisis escalated? I don't believe so. That treaty, I think, kind of transcends this current crisis. I see no reason why these events would affect our mutual recognition, our recognition of the titles of Imperium for both myself and Emperor Agalos. So no, I don't think we got to the point where I would say that our treaty was in jeopardy. Any other questions? I'll allow a couple of minutes. Um, in the event of more questions arising as a result of people having a chance to read the report, I may not be able to answer them now, but I think probably throughout this evening I'll be available to be contacted through the usual channels if any press have any follow-up questions on that. I appreciate some people here may want to maybe sort of skimming the report as we speak. From Indy Bornstein, how is your evening going? We're having a great evening here at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I'm pleased to say. Once I'm done with this, I'll be relaxing with a bottle of beer, I think. I will say I am glad that this report now is finished, that the ruling council has made its decision, and yeah, I think hopefully now we can put most of this behind us. Um, right. And from that British gamer in my capacity as Deputy PM Australasia, it's regrettable that the crisis escalated to the height that it did. I absolutely agree with that, and I'm glad that you share that viewpoint. Um, right. Has the Ministry of Foreign Affairs got any comments regarding the recent reunification of New Richmond Republic and New Virginia? I will only say I am very happy to see that. I express my warmest congratulations um, to um, to the New Richmonder people, to the New Virginian people, and to the Shoal Indian diaspora as they come together on this time. From the Australian Times, do you have a plan in place as a mediator to improve relations between the two parties, or simply leave it be? Um, right now, our first priority is to be reactive in the case of any further dispute. And that we'll do that probably through the channels that we have. The relationships that I have personally with both key figures in the Vertigo bloc and some within Australasia, particularly the former emperor, particularly with the Deputy Prime Minister John Gordon and others. We have the key relationships, I think, to act as a bridge. In terms of a more active rebuilding of the relationship, that's a slightly more ambitious project. It would certainly be a good proactive step to normalise those relations a bit more. But yeah, I hope that with time, the relationship will improve. But that will only happen if there's a willingness on both sides. I will say I have had a DM on Discord. I don't think I can look at it because I'm currently getting the screen capture from Discord. So if I read the message will come up on the screen unless I just turn this off for a second so I can read this. Just bear with. Hold on a second. Just bear with. Ah, God damn it. Sorry, Vera. I thought I had. Um, Sorry, there will be there's just the new version of the report has just been published. If people refresh, that should be replaced. Um, we should be able to come back here now. Good. Slight technical issue there. Anyway, any other what else have we got here? Can individuals named ask for the unredacted segment of their own part? That is a conversation that I would have to have with intelligence officials within Adammia. That is not currently our plan. It may be that a version of this report, which is still redacted in places, but with slightly less redactions made, could be made in the future, but in quite the distant future. We're talking on a time span of years. Once this has really cooled down, there are sections that we may unredact in a later edition, but right now the version of the report that I have put out is the version that you're getting, just for security reasons on our end. Are there any other questions? We have been here for 15 minutes, and like I said, I can take any follow-up questions in private after this. I'll give 2 minutes, 2 minutes for any more questions if I haven't received anything by 16 minutes past. Does the Empire of Adammia have any actions it plans to take in the short term? Um, we are considering the next steps. As you know, we're going to be staying in the GUM. We're going to be working with the GUM's leadership on improving professional standards. Um, our, that work has arguably already started. I contributed to yesterday's quorum session where we discussed these things, as you'll know, Mr. Frisch. Um, and I think in terms of acting as a bridge between the GUM and Australasia, I think I already addressed that point. Okay. Um, I think the questions are starting to dry up now. So I will just say thank you everybody for your time. I hope that. Oh, hold on, we have a question. Um, has the Minister, in his capacity as Director General of GUM, received a letter from the President of the Union, Comrade Simon Wright, regarding the Union's UN membership and delegation? Yes, I have received that letter. I have not yet read it. I'll be reading it immediately after this press conference. Okay. Like I said, thank you everybody for your time. Oh, we have another one. I brought up to both Australasia and others the possibility of a legal route between Australasia and GUM to work together and not antagonise one another. Yes, I have heard rumours of such a thing. If there is willingness on both sides, then um, Adammia would like to have some input on that. Yes, let's possibly follow that up at some point, Mr. Gordon. I think that would be a good idea. Yeah, so thank you everybody for your time. Like I said, the report, the redacted version of the report of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has been put in the YouTube chat. It will be circulated elsewhere in the near future. There will probably be a write-up in the Adamic Express very soon. So yeah, thank you everybody. I will express my hopes again that the worst of this crisis is behind us, and I want to just reassure everybody that Adammia is really keen to work to improve the GUM's standards and reputation, and to ensure that this kind of fighting doesn't continue. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you all, and good evening.